Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm guessing a handful of you at least are probably new. My name is Rebecca and I am a stay-at-home mom and an online reseller. And if you're not sure what online reselling is, you can basically look at the rest of my channel. All my other videos for the most part are about reselling, but this video is not. This is an extra video I am adding in. So if you are one of my reselling subscribers, feel free to watch this video. If you don't want to watch it, that's okay. I'm still going to have my normal reselling video out on Friday, just like I always do, but this is just an extra one this week. So this is going to be an extra video because I'm going to do a few videos here and there that are baby related. So if you are new, then I have two kids. I have a 4.5-year-old and I have a 2-year-old, and I am currently expecting our third and final baby. Now, I know my background isn't all like super pretty and stuff like a lot of Instagram or YouTube moms, whatever. This is actually my son's room because it has like the best natural light right now. My house doesn't have a whole lot of great options for natural light, and my youngest is actually napping downstairs, so I didn't want to be too close to her room and risk waking her up, or I'd never get this video filmed. So I thought, since this is like the first pregnancy related video, I would just kind of give a background on how we got here. Not the science part of it, I'll let you guys figure that out on your own. But kind of our journey to getting to our third baby, and also a first trimester recap. So there is going to be a little bit of mention of loss, so if you're sensitive to that, then you might want to skip forward a few minutes. But I'm not going to go heavy on it, it's just going to be like a real quick thing. So as I said, we have a 4.5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and for a little while we weren't sure if we were going to have a third or not, but that was like when our youngest was like 6 months, and 6 months to a year, you can kind of be like a little, I don't know, like if we're going to have another or not. So after we had talked about it for a while, we did decide that we wanted to have a third kid. So we started trying back in like September of 2022. Right when she was about 18 months old. We like to make that 18-month gap, and we kind of try to make our kids around 2.5 years apart. That's how far apart our first two are, and we like that age gap. It works well for us. We feel like they're close enough so they get along, but far enough that gives us a little bit of a break as far as not having like a whole bunch of babies at once. Like the older one's a little more independent. But that was kind of what we had chosen to do. Now with our first and our second babies, we got pregnant right away. We were very lucky, first try on both. So we kind of, or at least especially me, I kind of was like, oh, this will be easy. This is when, I'm a big planner. So I'm like, this is about when I want the baby to be born. I was really hoping for like a spring or summer baby. Or my other ones were born in September, like the end of September and March, so I was kind of hoping to have a warmer weather baby this time around. We live in Pennsylvania, so we get all the seasons, and I don't really like the cold as it is, but that didn't exactly happen, obviously. So yeah, we tried for a couple months and just didn't have a lot of luck. I think a lot of it was there was a whole lot of stress kind of going on in our family, just with like different jobs changing around and stuff. And then we also had like a lot of sickness. My son's in preschool, so he brings home all the germs. And it was just kind of a rough few months last fall for us. I kind of think that did affect things. But we decided to keep trying for a few more months. We kind of had we didn't want too big of an age gap. So if it didn't happen within a certain period of time, then we were just going to be happy with the two we had, and that was fine. So we kept trying. January came and still wasn't pregnant. And then February came and I got a positive test. So that was super exciting. I'm not like a super emotional person, but I did happy cry on that one because I was starting to think that like it just wasn't going to happen. And I feel like when you get pregnant the first time with the other two, you feel like there's just something wrong with you, or like, why is this not working? So I was super happy, got pregnant. I took that test on a Tuesday, and then like Wednesday night, I got very sick. I threw up overnight. I don't throw up typically, like with the other two, I never threw up. I get nauseous, but I never throw up. I lost like 4 pounds within a couple days. I couldn't eat barely. It was really bad. I wasn't functioning well at all. And then that Saturday, I started bleeding. And which I wasn't too concerned at first because I have had bleeding with the other ones. Sometimes you just have like a little like a subchorionic hematoma or whatever, and they can bleed a little bit, but something didn't feel right. It just continued, and then Monday I called the doctors, kind of described to them what was going on. They sent me for a blood test, and my first, they're testing my betas, my beta HCG levels, which is a hormone for pregnancy that your body produces. And it came back positive, but like barely positive. So they send you back 48 hours later, and that test came back negative, which at that point meant I'd lost the baby. I kind of assumed already that my symptoms kind of disappeared, and I just kind of figured that's the way it was going. So that was really hard. We never experienced a loss before. And it wasn't, I don't want to offend anyone with, everyone has different views about all of this, but it was considered a chemical pregnancy or chemical miscarriage. So that means there was never like an egg that actually implanted successfully. My body produced the hormones to have a pregnancy, and then it just didn't really work out. So I don't really say that we lost a baby. I say that we lost a pregnancy, because there really wasn't a baby in my eyes. We didn't get to that point. So I wasn't really sad about like having lost a life, so to speak. It was more of, we lost that pregnancy. We lost that, like when that baby would have been born, it would have been like a perfect timing for us, kind of when we were hoping for. It just kind of, the timing and everything, the opportunity, I guess, was what we were really sad about. And then it did make me concerned about, we weren't planning on trying very long after that, so we didn't know what was going to happen. So after all that, once, the bleeding stopped and everything, then we decided to keep trying for basically like one more month, because we really, and once again, this is going to sound silly, but we really didn't want to have like a Christmas baby. No offense to any Christmas babies out there, but like, I just feel like Christmas time, it's a fun time, it's a great time, but it's a busy time. And I know me, and just adding like another holiday, I feel like I would just be super stressed with that. So we were really trying to avoid that. So we kind of figured if it didn't work out in getting pregnant in March, then we would just have our 2 kids and that would be fine. And I kind of felt like that's the way things were going, and the universe was kind of telling us, you're done at 2 and that's fine. So March came and went, nothing happened. I didn't get a cycle. I didn't take any pregnancy tests. Just nothing happened. So then April came, and 4 days into April, I was like, okay, I haven't gotten a cycle. And I was like, I feel like I should just take a test to be sure. We were about to go, we were about to have Easter was going to be coming, not too far after, and we were gonna have family, and we're gonna be around people, and we had some other stuff going on. So it was like, I just wanted to know where we were at. So I took a test, and it was positive. I was actually kind of surprised, and I wasn't really sure how to feel about it. I wasn't like happy crying like I was with the other one. I think I just wasn't sure. I was kind of shocked. I really didn't think it would happen. I had read online that after having a miscarriage, you could have like the first 3 months after that potentially have a higher chance of getting pregnant. So I guess maybe that could have been it. Not really sure. But yeah, got a positive test on like April 4th. And then we had family over that weekend. We didn't tell anybody yet. I was very nervous. I was like, okay, the first few days or whatever, or the first like at least a week, like I didn't want to tell anybody, because just in case something happened. So, yeah, but everything was fine. And I ended up calling, I think that next week, calling my OB's office, and they were like, well, do you know how far along you are? And I said, well, not really, because my last cycle was in January. This happened in February. Nothing happened in March, so we didn't really know how far along I could be. I said, my guess is that I'm like 5 weeks, because I started having some nausea symptoms, which is usually like the symptom I get pretty early on with my pregnancies. So I was like, I think I'm probably around 5 weeks when I took the test. And that kind of made sense. Like, okay, we probably got pregnant sometime in March, maybe the beginning of March. So they scheduled me for when they thought I would be, I think around like 10-ish weeks for my first ultrasound. That would be a dating ultrasound, and we'd get a better idea. So we went to the dating ultrasound, and, or I should say leading up to that, I guess that's when my symptoms started. So I had a lot of nausea. I didn't throw up at all. I don't usually throw up. I'm just very nauseous. Basically like being motion sick all the time. And I get motion sickness anyway, so I'm very familiar with that. Not a whole lot really helps. I did suck on some like sour Jolly Ranchers. That helped a little bit. I tried the like Preggy Pop Drops. Those didn't help a whole lot. Lemonade was like a big thing for me to drink. Lemonade and like lemon lime Gatorade, which isn't stuff I usually drink, but I couldn't even drink plain water. That made me feel sick. So I had to drink something like lemony. Even ginger ale didn't help a lot. In my other pregnancies, I would drink a lot of ginger ale, eat bagels, mashed potatoes, things like that. This time around, I don't really remember exactly. Like, there wasn't anything specific that made me feel better. It was just kind of trying to continually eat small amounts of food. And then, like I said, the lemony stuff, that helped. Like, or the sour type stuff. Like McDonald's has those like blue raspberry freezes or something. Those were so good. There were times when I would get like, I need to eat like some hash browns or some French fries. I think it was the saltiness that I really wanted. So that kind of helped. But that lasted for about a month. So by the time I went for my dating ultrasound, those had pretty much subsided. I wasn't really sick anymore. And that's really all the symptoms I had, I should say. Well, that and like the ladies were sore and definitely got bigger. But other than that, not a lot of symptoms, which is pretty across the board how my other two pregnancies had been. So get to the dating ultrasound and I go in and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm like, I think I'm like 9-ish, 10-ish weeks, probably like 9. That's kind of where I was estimating from when I had taken my test, thought I was 5 weeks. And so they start the abdominal ultrasound first, and immediately when they put the Doppler on and I saw the screen, I was like, holy cow, I'm like, that's like a whole baby in there. I was so shocked because in my other pregnancies, it looks like a little like gummy bear. Like they don't really have like, they're not super formed in a human shape. They look like a gummy bear is how I always thought it looked. But I was like, that's like a whole freaking baby in there. That's like a legit human. And they were like, yeah, you're like 11 and a half weeks. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay. And like, if you've been pregnant, like 2.5 weeks is kind of like a big jump to have missed, so to speak. I was like, wow, okay. Didn't think I was that far along. So yeah, we're really far along. But, you can see like the legs and the arms, the profile. It's crazy. So saw all that and everything checked out good. Then I had to schedule another appointment shortly after, like the following week, for my genetic screening. So we don't usually do the blood test. It used to be called NIPT. Now it's like NIPS. Whatever. We don't do that genetic testing because we're considered very low risk, and it's just something we opt out of. I think with our first, it wasn't covered by insurance, so we didn't do it. And I think it usually is covered by insurances now, but we just haven't done it for our other two kids, so we chose not to. We did just the ultrasound screening for like Down syndrome and whatnot, and everything came back fine. But it was crazy because I had that ultrasound almost like a week after my initial ultrasound because we were so close. I think the genetic one had to be done between like 11 and 14 weeks, and I was already 11 and a half weeks or somewhere around there. So yeah, they scheduled me like the next week, and they were basically like, are you available on this day and this time? And I was like, yeah, I think so. And they're like, okay, good, because we already have you booked there because it's our only opening. So we were hoping you'd be able to take it. Like they had reserved a spot because it's like they knew I needed to get in really soon. So they did that. That was really good. The baby looks really good. Heart rate's been like 150, 155. And the baby is very bouncy on the ultrasounds. Like almost looks like it's hiccuping. It keeps like bouncing. It's really funny. And then I had one doctor's appointment. Since that, I had like 2 days after that ultrasound. So this past week was my first doctor's appointment. And I'm going to the same practice I went to last time. It's like an OB and midwife mixture. But pretty much everybody is different. I think there's one OB and one midwife that were there last time, 2 years ago when I delivered my daughter. And everyone else is different. So I'm basically meeting all new doctors. There's only 2 midwives right now. One is the one that delivered my daughter. The other one's new, and they're going to be getting 2 more in before this baby is due. So I really prefer to use a midwife if possible, but it kind of depends on what their staffing is like, who's available. When I delivered my daughter, it was just like the midwives were the ones who delivered you in the hospital unless you needed an OB. I'm not sure if that's still how they're doing it or not. We'll find that out when we get closer to time. But I met an OB. She was very kind, very nice. I had to do a whole exam. Everything checked out. Baby still sounds good. And we could hear the heartbeat, so that was good. So right now, sitting here, I am 13 weeks and trying to think 5 days. So my weeks change over on Tuesdays. So this Tuesday, I will officially be in the second trimester. Like I said, nausea is all gone. Really, my main symptoms right now is that I'm very thirsty. I'm very hungry. But also, like, not a lot of food sounds great. I've been liking a lot of fresh fruit. I think part of that is because we're in spring going towards summer. So, like, cold, fresh fruit sounds really good. So I've been getting a lot of grapes and cantaloupes, strawberries, things like that. The other symptom I've had that I think some people are probably going to have some contentions with is I have felt baby move already, which sounds super early, but I did look it up and it's not super uncommon if this is like a not multiples pregnancies. There's only one baby in there. But if you've had pregnancies in the past, so this is my third, I feel like I'm already bigger because everything's already stretched out. And I've definitely felt movement, and it's not like gas bubbles. Like I can tell the difference from having babies before. A lot of it feels like baby's just kind of like lightly pushing, like stretching a leg or something out. I'm feeling it on mostly like the one side. I'm definitely starting to get some of like the round ligament pain, back aches, cramping, just everything stretching and growing, but nothing like too unbearable. But I'm also very, very tired. I'm useful in the morning, and by afternoon nap time, I'm mostly done for the day. I'm just very, very tired at that point. And I don't usually nap during the day because I don't like the groggy feeling I get after a nap. So I'm just really tired until bedtime, basically. Try to get to bed a little bit early some nights, so like around 8:30 if I can. Usually we go to bed at like 9:30. One of the other symptoms I've had, which I think is starting to subside, is that I already have kind of skin problems or acne problems, but I was really getting some bad acne, especially up here on my cheeks, which is kind of odd. But I do wear makeup whenever I'm going out and about, which is most days with 2 kids. Usually we have something to go do. So that doesn't help, but I was definitely getting more like acne flare-ups. So that wasn't great, but I think they're starting to calm down a little bit, especially starting to come into the second trimester. Things are getting better. I've also, I'm not tracking my weight or anything. I have done that in my other pregnancies, but this pregnancy, I'm not really tracking it. I'm just going by whatever the doctor says when I go in. So in the first trimester, I've gained 7 pounds, which they say I should gain 25 to 35 throughout the pregnancy. With my other 2, I gained right around that like 25-ish mark. So I think having 6 more months and having 18 more pounds, I wouldn't be surprised if I gain a little bit more, and that's fine. Just because I'm not really tracking stuff as well. I'm already super tired with 2 kids. And I think just trying to keep like our house and our life going right now, I just get more tired. So I'm just trying to eat. Like, I'm hungry, I'm just trying to eat. I mean, I try to pick healthy choices, but if I'm hungry, I'm going to eat something. And I'm not getting nearly as much exercise. My first, I exercised a lot. I didn't have any kids, and I wasn't working then. So I would walk like 3 miles 3 times a week. And the other days I would do some like strength training or yoga, whatever. With my second, I think I did the elliptical for like a few months and then kind of just died off. This one, I feel like I'm just up and moving around with my kids all the time. So I don't have any designated exercise right now. I was also sick for a while, so I haven't tried to incorporate much of that back in, but just trying to go for like some family walks and things like that. We don't live like in a neighborhood, so we can't just go out for a walk around the neighborhood. We live on a very busy street, so that would be very dangerous. But we do try to go to some parks and things like that. And summer's coming, so hopefully we'll get more stuff going then. But I'm not like setting an exact exercise plan or anything like that. I'm just going to try to keep going as best I can. Like I said, I'm already kind of getting sore, so stretching would be a great thing to add in. Just little things like that. I'm not trying to, train my body crazy. I know you do need to kind of prepare for labor. I've done it twice already and, it's been fine. So I'm just not too worried about it. I know some people might want to know if we know what the gender of this baby is, and the answer is we do not. We will be finding out. I am too type A to not find out. We found out with both of our other ones, but we always find out at the anatomy scan because we don't do any of the extra blood work. We don't do the sneak peek or anything like that. We kind of like it as like a halfway marker. It's something fun to do. So we will be doing that at the end of June is when we will find out. And then we will probably do like a little party or something for some friends, or like a barbecue. I'm not trying to do like a baby shower or sprinkle or anything like that, but just trying to kind of have some friends together during the summer, and we'll probably do like a little gender reveal then. We usually find out ahead of time, and it's just a reveal for everybody else. I don't like to be surprised in the moment. So, and as far as like what this baby is, I have no idea. I mean, we already have one of each. So my gut instinct, which I've never had with the other two, makes me feel like it's a boy. I don't know why, but I just feel that way. Which also makes me think my gut instinct's probably wrong and it's probably a girl. I kind of hope it's a girl because my youngest is a girl. So they'll only be like 2.5-ish years apart. If it's a boy, there's going to be like a 5-year age gap between the boys. So, I mean, it's not a huge deal, but just thinking that way, like it'd be kind of nice if the two youngest were able to be close in age and, do things together a little bit more. But yeah, it really doesn't matter. I think my husband thinks it's a boy maybe, but I think he just kind of always hopes we're having boys. Not that he doesn't love our daughter, but, I think he just wants to do like boy stuff with the boys. And our son that's 4.5 is at that age now where he can finally do some of that more manly stuff that he talks about, like take him when he's, working on vehicles, or take him out back and like dig up a tree or whatever it is. So I think he kind of is like, oh, I could have like another buddy to do that with. So I'm sure he'll be happy either way. And I did have at my second ultrasound, the ultrasound tech, they asked like, do you know what you're having? I said no. And they then towards the end, she was like, are you going to find out? And I said, yeah, we'll find out at the 20-week scan. She's like, okay. And I was like, yeah. I was like, man, I kind of think it's a boy, but that makes me think I'm probably wrong. And I was like, yeah, so I don't know. And she's like, yeah, well, she's like, she's like, I think I can take a pretty good guess. And I'm like, oh, I really wish she hadn't said that because my immediate thought is, well, it's probably a boy then because, at, what was I, 13 weeks? 13, I guess I was like 12 weeks and, 6 days. I was like, she probably saw some male anatomy because how much are you going to see that early on? And I was like, man, now my brain is just like, you're having a boy. And I'm like, I wasn't prepared to know that yet. But then I was watching a YouTube video. I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry. But she has 2 little boys and then she's pregnant. She's not pregnant anymore, but she was pregnant with twin girls. And their ultrasound tech around the same time was able to say that it was 2 girls. She was like, I'm pretty sure it's 2 girls. And then they confirmed later with blood tests. But I'm like, okay, well, maybe you can tell. Like, I mean, they're experienced in that, so maybe they can tell. So now I'm really like, oh, now I don't know. So we're back to just having no idea. And I don't, I didn't really have any symptoms or whatever that would make me feel like, oh, this one was a boy and this one was a girl, and I'm having these symptoms now, so it's one way or the other. I have no idea, which is still kind of fun, but I'm also ready to buy some baby stuff, and I want to buy some like gender-specific things. So we're still kind of in the waiting game. And then other than that, I mean, I just feel a little bit anxious, I guess, or overwhelmed because, so this room I'm in right now is my son's room. My daughter's going to have to move into this room because we only have 2 bedrooms that are not the master. So she's going to be moving into this room with him, and the baby's going to take her room. She's still in a crib. So we have to get her out of a crib. I guess train her to be in a big girl bed, but we don't do the toddler bed. We just go straight to like a big kid bed. And we did that with our son and he was fine. We just got him a bed frame and a new bed because he had a full size and we couldn't do a full size and have her bed in here. So now we're doing 2 twins. So we have that stuff set up. But basically this whole room is going to get painted and there's like a bunch of work that needs done. Like we have baseboard heaters that no longer function because we got different heating. So my husband has to rip that out, rip baseboards out, re-drywall. It just feels like a lot. Also want to potty train my daughter this summer, hoping to. We need to get a new vehicle because my current one, if we were going to put 3 car seats in it, we would have to get all new car seats because ours are too wide to fit 3 across. I have a Hyundai Tucson, so it's not a super wide back seat. So yeah, we are going to be getting a minivan. Let me know what minivan you have. If you have one, we're looking at the Honda Odyssey 2023. So yeah, I mean, I've had my vehicle since I graduated college, basically, so since 2013, so it's made a good run, and it was used when I got it, but we definitely need a bigger vehicle for the family, because my husband just has a truck. So I just feel like there's a lot of things like that have to happen. We're also like semi on a house hunt to maybe move, but we're kind of just planning on staying here unless a house comes up that we really love. We toured a house today and it just really wasn't much better than what we have. We're really looking for, like a 4-bedroom, but also something that has some office spaces, one for my reselling, ideally. My husband works fully remote from home, so something for that, a big yard. We don't like a lot of neighbors. It's just, there's a lot of things going on that have me a little bit like on edge because I like to just get things done. But yeah, so we're excited. Baby seems to be doing great. And trying to think, I'm probably just going to put out some random baby videos. Not really on a schedule, just like over, I don't know, maybe once a month or whatever. It takes me a little bit of time to edit these. So we'll have to see what kind of time is available because, time is a little short right now. Summers are also a little tricky because I usually have less like babysitting help because my parents camp and travel and stuff, which is totally cool. They're retired. I'm glad they're having a great time. But then I have a little bit less time to do things without kids around. So that can be a little bit tricky, but I'll definitely probably be doing some like thrift hauls and stuff. I was stupid and got rid of like all of my summer maternity clothes because I was like, I'm not going to be pregnant in the summer. So now I need to get all new stuff because I own like 1 pair of maternity shorts. And yeah, it's just a lot going on. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Oh, we should do a bump date. So this is almost 14 weeks. It's kind of hard to see in this dress, but it's not a maternity dress, but definitely have a bump. Probably not enough for like someone who isn't aware that I'm pregnant, maybe not know, but definitely have a little bit of a bump going on. And I do take like bump succession photos. I do 1 photo every 4 weeks. So I did a 12-week photo and I'll do 16 weeks next. And then I compare it to my other ones. So I already think I'm sticking out more than I was my other pregnancies, which makes sense. But yeah, I think that's everything. Hi, it's Editing Rebecca here, and I totally forgot to tell you guys when I'm due. So I am due on November 21st, which is 2 days before Thanksgiving, which is a little crazy, so this could be a Thanksgiving baby. I don't know how I feel about that. The good thing is the baby's birthday wouldn't be like on Thanksgiving every single year. But I like my Thanksgiving meal and I don't particularly want to have it in a hospital. So we'll see what happens, but that's when I'm due, November 21st. I don't know, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you're also expecting, let me know when you're due and if this your like first baby or your 5th baby or whatever. I'd love to know. I think it'd be very interesting. And subscribe if you want to come back for more baby content, or if you're interested in reselling, subscribe too, because I post a reselling video every week on Fridays, usually at 7 Eastern time, 7 p.m. So you can pretty much count on those. And then these baby videos are just going to be thrown in kind of wherever. And don't forget to follow me over on Instagram. I am at TheCozyShire. I am posting like little more baby things here and there, usually in my stories. That way it's not like completely inundated. I did take a vote or a poll here for people to vote on my community page. about whether they wanted baby content or not, and it was kind of 50-50. So I decided it's my channel and I kind of want to talk about my baby too. And this is the first time I'm going to get to document like a pregnancy in video form, and it's going to be my last baby. So I kind of just want to be able to do that. And if you're not interested, that's totally cool. If you are, I hope you stick around. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.